They are sticking it to us again. Electricity prices are going up again. The latest rise will run close to 10% for many customers. Labor is destroying our electricity grid, trying to turn it into some grand experiment of wind turbine installations, solar factories, offshore wind projects, big batteries, transmission lines, and even pumped hydro plants, all of it damaging to the environment, much of it opposed by local communities, most of it delayed, all of it horrendously expensive, and the whole thing not up to the task of delivering reliable energy. And then they wonder why prices keep going up. The minister, the absolute joke of a minister in charge of all this, Chris Bowen, he still reckons that the very transition that is causing these problems is also the way to fix it.
But what hasn't changed is the fact that every bit of renewable energy you introduce puts downward pressure on prices.
Really, the renewables push that is creating price hikes will also bring prices down? Isn't that what they say is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result? Remember, this is what Labor promised 3 years ago.
Reducing power prices by $275.
Reducing power prices by $275.
By 2025, $275 a year.
$275 a year.
We'll get power prices down by $275 a year.
$275 for the average house, lower in 2025 than today.
Yeah, well, it's well into 2025, and now with this latest increase, instead of cutting prices by $275 a year, the average bill would have gone up by $800. That's a turnaround of more than $1,000. That's an election promise that's been broken about 4 times over. And the bloke in charge talks absolute nonsense like this.
Shows the need to keep on going more than ever before with the plan to introduce more of the cheapest, most reliable form of energy for Australians, and that, of course, is renewable energy.
Yeah, you heard it right. He actually said that. Not only does he persist with this absolute garbage about renewables being the cheapest option, he also says they're the most reliable. This is extraordinary. Calling renewables reliable is like calling the sun cold. It's like calling Donald Trump shy. It's just the opposite of reality. Not even the most ardent advocate for renewables would pretend that they're reliable. That's their main problem, the fact that they are intermittent and unreliable. That's what makes them expensive, because you need 2 forms of generation, the renewables and something to replace them or back them up. No wonder the opposition leader is calling for Bowen's head now.
Chris Bowen and Anthony Albanese have presided over a broken promise of a $275 electricity cut, which was made on 97 occasions before the election, and now power bills have gone up by $1,300. Chris Bowen has been a disaster. He's one of the key players in the Albanese government, and he has let Australians down, and there should be a price to pay for that. And frankly, today, if the Prime Minister doesn't sack Chris Bowen, I don't know when he would sack him, because he deserves to lose his job over forcing up the electricity prices of Australians yet again.
But it gets even worse from Bowen. Apart from more price increases, apart from pretending renewables are cheap, apart from telling the outright lie that they are reliable, well, apart from all that, Bowen has put the onus for cheaper electricity bills back onto consumers. Yeah, he reckons it's your problem because you're not shopping around enough.
Did you know that 81% of Australians are paying more for electricity than they need to because they're not on the best plan available? That's the data from the ACCC. Our government is making it easier for you to switch providers. This website will help you find the best possible deal for somebody with your energy use. You can also take control by making sure you're on the best offer and switching providers.
The gall of this bloke, just jump onto our fancy little website and everything will be okay. Well, it's not okay. Power prices are skyrocketing and you promised to bring them down by $275 a year. It's unbelievable. Meanwhile, in the Port Stephens tourist region of New South Wales, where Bowen is going to impose a massive offshore wind turbine installation and locals are up in arms about it, well, the minister didn't even bother turning up to a debate to put his case.
And the person with whom I was meant to be here tonight to have a good, thorough, comprehensive debate was this fellow here, the Honourable Chris Bowen.
Yeah, this is no laughing matter, all right. Nothing hurts families, small businesses, industry and our general economic competitiveness quite as hard and wide as energy price increases.
If we want to bring prices down, then for goodness sake, don't vote for Anthony Albanese and the Greens at the next election, because prices will only skyrocket again. And the other thing I think that's worth pointing out is that the 2035 target that the government has the modelling on and they refuse to release, this secret report indicates that electricity prices are going to go higher under this government. And I think if people are struggling at the moment, 3 more years of Labor will not only cripple the economy, it will also make it much harder for families and small businesses. So there is a much better way to get our country back on track, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
Yeah, it'll be a cost of living election, all right, and Labor will keep delivering electricity price increases as they chase a net zero dream that will do nothing for the environment because global emissions are still growing strongly. Yet Labor opposes nuclear, the one proven, reliable and affordable source of emissions-free electricity. This national energy self-harm is as idiotic as it is scandalous. It's hurting this country every day and will do so for years to come. Yet bizarrely, it's the main obsession of Labor, the Greens and the Teals. I wonder if any of them can explain why.